Good morning, everybody. Myself, Dr. Meenakshi Mangal, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology. The topic that we will discuss today is polymorphism in Coelenterata. Occurrence in the same species of more than one type of individuals which differ in form and function is known as polymorphism. It is derived from the Greek word polis, which means many, and morphe, which means form. This ensures an efficient division of labor between several individuals. Different individuals of a species may remain separate, as represented by various castes in termites, certain ants, and snails. This is also known as genetic polymorphism. In coelentrates, the different individuals or zooids often get united in the form of a colony. Polymorphism is an important feature of hydrozoan colonies, which provide some of the best examples. Two basic forms. In hydrozoa, which may be single or colonial, there occurs two main types of individual or zooids, that is polyp and medusa. A polyp has a tubular body with a mouth surrounded by tentacles at one end, other end is blind and usually attached by a pedal disc to the substratum. A medusa has a bowl or umbrella-shaped body with marginal tentacles and mouth centrally located on a projection or manubrium on the lower concave surface. Although polyps are typically sessile and medusae are generally motile, there exists a homology between the two in their basic features. Polymorphism is essentially a phenomenon of division of labor. Different functions are assigned to different individuals rather than to parts or organs of an individual. Polyps are concerned with feeding, protection, and asexual reproduction, while medusae are concerned with sexual reproduction. Degree of polymorphism varies greatly in different groups of hydrozoa. Simplest and commonest pattern of polymorphism is exhibited by many hydrozoan colonies like Obelia, Tubularia, Campanularia. They have only two types of zooids. Gastrozoids or hydranths are concerned with feeding, while gonozoids or blastostyles are with asexual budding, forming sexual medusae or gonopods. Such colonies bearing only two types of individuals are called dimorphic, and the phenomenon is termed dimorphism. Some forms like Plumeria are trimorphic. Gastrozoids and gonozoids possess a third type of individual, the dactylozoid. These are functionally non-feeding and defensive polyps bearing batteries of nematocysts. Coelentrates having more than three types of individuals are called polymorphic. A somewhat greater degree of polymorphism is found in the encrusting colony of Hydractinia, with five types of polyps, each forming a specialized function. These are gastrozoids for feeding, spiral dactylozoids for protection, long sensory tentaculozoids with sensory cells, skeletozoids as spiny projections of chitin, and gonozoids or reproductive individuals bearing male or female gonophores or medusae for sexual reproduction. Modifications of polyps are gastrozoid, dactylozoid, gonozoids. Gastrozoid or feeding polyps with a mouth and a long tentacle. Dactylozoids are protective polyp without mouth and usually with a long basal tentacle. Gonozoids or reproductive polyps which produce sexual medusae or gonophores. The medusoid individuals are of the following types: nectophore, pneumatophore, phylozoid, and gonophore. Nectophore or nectocalyx or swimming zooid with a muscular bell without manubrium or tentacles. Pneumatophore or float as a bladder-like medusa filled with secreted gas. Phylozoid or bract are usually leaf-like and studded with nematocysts, serving for protection of other zooids. Gonophore bearing gonads, which may be either male producing sperms or female producing ova. Notable polymorphic colonies are observed in order Siphonophora and Chondrophora. In order Siphonophora, colonies are linear with one or more nectophores located at the apical end. Polypoid and medusoid individuals are grouped as units called chormedia, which are repeated in a linear succession. A typical chormedium consists of a gastrozoid with a tentacle bearing nematocysts. A phylozoid or bract and medusoid gonophores are one which are never freed. Dactylozoids are absent. In Vellela of order Chondrophora and Porpita, the colony is highly organized. There is a single central gastrozoid with a mouth. Around it are concentric rows of gonozoids surrounded by a few rows of dactylozoids. Entire colony looks like a single individual animal. Colonies of Siphonophora represent the most specialized of hydrozoa, attaining the highest degree of polymorphism and present greatest number of medusoid and polypoid types. There are two views regarding which came first, polyp or medusa, during the evolution of polymorphism in coelenterata. According to one view, the ancestral coelenterate was a hydra-like polyp which arose from gastria. It gave rise to hydroid colonies by asexual budding. In the sessile colony, some polyps become modified into medusa for sexual reproduction and pelagic life. Through division of labor, the hydroid colony becomes polymorphic. According to another view, as given by Brooks, the ancestral coelenterata was a primitive medusa. It arose from metagastria by developing tentacles and became free swimming. According to Huxley, the manubrium, tentacles, and umbrella of this primitive medusoid individuals were multiplied and shifted from their original positions to become various zooids of the polymorphic colony. According to this view, polypoid stage is considered the persistent larval stage and medusoid the completely evolved coelenterate. According to Moser, various zooids of Siphonophore are merely organs that have not attained the grade of polymorphic individuals. She regards Siphonophora to be ancestral to Hydrozoa, which has fully differentiated zooids. Coral animals are marine, mostly colonial, polypoid coelentrates, looking like miniature sea anemones and living in a secreted skeleton of their own. Their calcareous or horny skeleton is also commonly called as coral. Some corals grow into massive solid structures, others form large branched colonies. Most of the corals belong to the class Anthozoa and a few to the class Hydrozoa of phylum Coelenterata. A typical coral polyp from a colony is a small organism about 10 mm long and 1 to 3 mm in diameter. Solitary coral polyps are much larger, reaching up to 25 cm in diameter. A basal disc is absent because the basal region of polyp is surrounded by a calcareous exoskeleton. Oral disc bears numerous tentacles in several rows around an elongated oval or circular mouth. Pharynx or stomodium is short and without siphonoglyphs. Mesenteries are restricted to the upper part of coelentron, and mesenterial filaments contain only one glandular lobe bearing nematocyst. Body wall is without nematocyst bearing structures. Muscles are poorly developed while little is known about their nervous system. Living polyps are found only on surface layers of coral masses. They feed at night both by raptorial and suspension feeding. When not feeding, they withdraw into cup-like cavities of the skeleton. The skeleton of solitary coral is known as a corallite. It is a calcareous exoskeleton secreted by epidermis. In a colonial coral, corallites of individual polyps fuse together to form a skeletal mass called corallium. Each corallite is like a stony cup with a basal part or basal plate and a cup wall or theca, enclosing the aboral portion of polyp. Cavity of cup contains a number of vertical radiating ridges called sclerosepta, proceeding from theca towards the center of the cup. Inner ends of sclerosepta are fused to form an irregular central skeleton mass or columella. In coral polyps, sexual reproduction takes place by fusion of gametes. Zygote develops into a free-swimming ciliated planular larva which settles down and metamorphoses into a young coral polyp. There is no medusa stage. By asexual budding, single polyp becomes the parent of all other members of the colony. The coral polyp begins to secrete a skeletal rudiment or prototheca. It is secreted by ectoderm, first as a basal plate. Following it, radial folds develop which secrete sclerosepta. At the same time, a rim is built up as a thecal wall around the polyp lying at the top. Meanwhile, further skeletal material is added into the gaps between sclerosepta of skeleton, which usually alternates with mesenteries of the polyp. Coral colony grows in size continuously by budding of new polyps, particularly along the margins and on surface layers of coral masses. Order Hydrocorallina includes few genera like Millipora, Stylaster, and Distichophora, which are colonial and secrete massive branched calcareous exoskeletons. These are found in coral reefs with other corals. Skeleton is secreted by a modified epidermis called calicoblastic layer. Living within the skeleton occur two types of polyps: large feeding gastrozoids and defensive dactylozoids. Octocorallian corals are of the order Alcyonaceae, including marine, colonial, and soft corals. A well-known genus is Alcyonium, popular as dead man's fingers, because of its resemblance to a human hand. It has an endoskeleton of separate calcareous spicules embedded in a massive mesoglea or scoenchyme. Under Stolonifera, the organ pipe coral Tubipora occurs, which is widely distributed on coral reefs in warm waters. Skeleton is made up of mesoglial calcareous spicules forming parallel and vertical tubes, each occupied by one polyp and connected together by lateral platforms. Skeleton is dull red in color due to presence of iron salts. Order Cenothecalia includes a single genus Heliopora, commonly known as blue coral. Its massive calcareous skeleton, a corallium, is secreted by polyps living in large, erect, cylindrical solenial tubes on the surface of skeleton. Order Gorgonacea includes plants like colonies of sea fans or horny corals. In Gorgonia, colony branches in one plane only. Its axial skeleton is made by horny proteinaceous material intermixed with calcareous spicules arranged around the polyps. In previous red coral, Corallium nobile, the branching colony has canaliferous of coenosarc containing dimorphic polyps. Axial skeleton consists of spicules embedded in calcium carbonate, forming precious hard coral which is used as jewelry. Order Madrepora includes stony corals, or true corals, which are the principal builders of coral reefs. While some of them are solitary, most are colonial, assuming a great variety of forms. Coral colonies grow continuously in size by budding of polyps and often form extensive masses known as coral reefs. Reef building corals require warm, shallow waters. They are therefore limited to the Indo Pacific, Central Western Pacific, and the Caribbean regions north of Bermuda. The coral reefs are of three kinds, depending on how they are formed: fringing reef, barrier reef, and atoll. Coral reefs lying close to the shores of some volcanic island or part of some continent are termed fringing reefs. A fringing reef may extend out to a distance of a quarter mile from the shore, with the most active zone of the coral growth facing the sea. The seaward zone is commonly called the edge. Barrier reefs are like fringing reefs but are located some distance away from the shore. The stretch of water separating the barrier reef from land may be half a mile to 10 miles or more in width. It is called a lagoon. Example of barrier reef is the Great Barrier Reef along the northeastern coast of Australia. An atoll is also termed a coral island or lagoon island. It is a ring-like or horseshoe-shaped reef that encircles a lagoon but not an island. The lagoon varies from a few to about 90 kilometers across. It may be complete or broken by a number of channels, of which only a few are navigable. Outer side of the reef slopes off rather steeply into the depth of ocean. Formation of coral reefs. Two theories seems to be most convincing are subsidence theory by Darwin and the glacial control theory by Daly. According to the subsidence theory given by Darwin, fringing reef was first formed on the sloping shores of an island. Subsidence of sea floor then commenced in the regions of reef, followed by upward and outward growth of coral. The fringing reef became the barrier reef. By gradual sinking, the island ultimately vanished and the barrier reef became a coral atoll with a central lagoon. Another theory, as propounded by Daly, accounts for the lowering of the ocean level by the withdrawal of water for glacial formation. This resulted in the exposing of several flat platforms cut out by the action of waves. When the glaciers melted and the temperature became favorable, corals began to grow on these platforms, building higher as the ocean level rose. Corals of the remote geological past formed reef structures that were highly favorable sites for the accumulation of petroleum deposits. The coral reefs are of much importance to oil industry. Large quantities of corals are shipped every year for the curio trade. The coral reefs serve as habitats for many plants and animals like sponges, mollusks, echinoderms, fishes, etc. Some coral reefs are used as habitations by man as well. Corals are highly prized for their decorative value. Corallum rubrum is considered to be a precious stone in India and China. Chunks of coral skeleton are used as building material in some places. Coral skeletons are also helpful in making ridges that may act as natural barriers against sea erosion and cyclonic storms. Coral reefs serve as good nursery grounds for commercially important fishes. Reef fish varieties are more colorful than others. Thank you.